In the heart of Britain's largest prison, a scandal unfolded that left the entire institution in shock. It involved three young women guards, each with their own stories and desires, who found themselves ensnared in the dangerous allure of forbidden love. Get ready for a roller coaster of emotions as we peel back the layers and expose a side of law enforcement rarely seen before. Are you ready to discover the untold tales of justice gone astray? Then stay tuned till the end of the video. Jennifer Gavon, a vibrant and adventurous soul at the tender age of 27, had always been captivated by the unknown. Little did she know that her insatiable curiosity would lead her down a treacherous path. Aisha Gunn, another 27-year-old with a mischievous sparkle in her eyes, possessed a wild spirit that craved excitement and danger. And then there was Emily Watson, a 26-year-old with a heart filled with a yearning for something more. Within the towering walls of the super prison in Wrexham, North Wales, where they worked, these women would cross paths with men who had fallen from grace, imprisoned for their past transgressions. They were adult male offenders, categorized as Category C, deemed less dangerous than the most hardened criminals, but still bearing the weight of their mistakes. As days turned into nights and the rigid routine of prison life persisted, these three women began to form connections with the inmates that transcended their professional roles. Boundaries blurred, emotions grew, and secret affairs ignited amidst the stark and confined environment. News of their clandestine relationships spread like wildfire through the prison walls, fueling whispers and raising eyebrows. A sense of betrayal permeated the air, for the trust placed in these guards to maintain order and uphold justice had been shattered. The repercussions were swift and severe. Jennifer, Aisha, and Emily found themselves stripped of their freedom, ironically confined within the very walls they once patrolled. The weight of their actions bore down upon them as the prison gates clanged shut behind them, locking away not only their physical beings, but also their shattered dreams. Meanwhile, within the prison's administrative offices, the authorities were faced with an urgent task: to address the pervasive corruption that had tarnished the reputation of this once respected institution. Recognizing the pressing need for change, they initiated an intensive training program for the prison's 500 staff members. Together, they vowed to restore trust, integrity, and belief in a justice system that should always be above reproach. It all started when Officer Gavon found herself entangled in a forbidden romance that would change her life forever. In the quiet corners of the penitentiary, whispers of Officer Gavon's secret affair echoed through the cold concrete walls. The story unfolded like a gripping thriller, revealing a web of illicit connections. It was revealed that Officer Gavon had fallen for an inmate named Alex Coxon, a young man serving time behind bars. Their relationship had begun innocently enough, but soon evolved into something more dangerous. Officer Gavon couldn't resist the allure of forbidden love, and she found herself sending captivating photos of herself to Coxon via Snapchat. Their connection grew stronger with every passing day, and before long, their hearts were entwined. However, their love wasn't without its complications. Officer Gavon's devotion led her down a treacherous path, one that jeopardized her career and her freedom. In a moment of weakness, she succumbed to the temptation and agreed to smuggle a mobile phone into the prison for Coxon, for which she received a sum of $250. But fate has a way of uncovering secrets, and Officer Gavon's clandestine actions didn't escape the watchful eyes of justice. The truth emerged in the hollow halls of Mold Crown Court, where she stood before the judge, her heart heavy with regret. She pleaded guilty to misconduct in public, fully aware of the consequences that awaited her. The courtroom was filled with a sense of disbelief as the details of Officer Gavon's misguided love affair were laid bare for all to see. The court heard how she had kissed Coxon during their forbidden rendezvous, blurring the lines between her duty and her desires. It was a tale of passion and betrayal, wrapped in the cold reality of the courtroom. But Officer Gavon's story wasn't an isolated incident. Just a year before, another officer, Aisha Gunn, had succumbed to the same seductive trap of forbidden affection. In her case, it was a dangerous inmate named Kuram Razak who captured her heart. Razak was serving a lengthy sentence for his involvement in a conspiracy to rob. Gunn, a criminology and psychology graduate, had engaged in countless illicit phone calls with Razak, unable to resist the pull of their connection. The forbidden love affair had taken root, seeping into the deepest corners of her life. The evidence was damning. Photographs of the pair kissing and embracing were discovered in her bedroom, alongside pictures taken inside Razak's cell using a smuggled mobile phone. In the town of Mold, a courtroom buzzed with anticipation as the dramatic tale of the two rogue officers unfolded. The atmosphere crackled with scandal and intrigue, as if the very walls whispered the secrets they had witnessed. The accused, Gunn, stood in the dock, her eyes flickering nervously between the judge and the expectant onlookers. She was no ordinary law enforcement officer. She possessed a dark secret. It was said that she had smuggled a pair of knickers concealed within her bra, destined for the hands of a cunning prisoner. Gasps echoed through the courtroom as this audacious act was revealed, leaving everyone in awe of her brazen ingenuity. But Gunn's story wasn't the only one to captivate the minds of those gathered. A fellow officer named Emily Watson had a tale of her own, one that would send shockwaves through the prison walls and rock the foundations of justice. Watson, a young and seemingly innocent soul, had fallen under the spell of an inmate named John McGee. Whispers of their illicit affairs had reached the ears of the prison staff, who couldn't ignore the mounting suspicions any longer. An investigation was launched, pulling the veil away from the hidden rendezvous that had taken place within the confines of McGee's cell. The air grew heavy with tension as the court listened intently, awaiting the shocking revelations. What happens next? Will they face any consequences? Well, you have no idea, but you're about to find out very soon. Watch the video until the end and witness the climax for yourself. In the hallowed halls of the Mold Crown Court, the truth was laid bare. It was divulged that Watson had spent an alarming amount of time with the cunning McGee, their connection growing stronger with each passing day. Together, they had shared the secrecy of his cell on 3 separate occasions, their forbidden encounters shrouded in darkness. The courtroom held its breath as the details spilled forth. Watson's actions had escalated from intimate acts of passion to a union of bodies, crossing boundaries that should never have been breached. She had performed a sexual act on McGee twice, and their desires had led them to engage in intercourse. The judge, with furrowed brow and stern gaze, delivered the sentence that would forever mark Gunn and Watson's lives. The weight of their transgressions could no longer be ignored. Gunn was sentenced to a year behind bars, her own freedom stripped away as retribution for her audacious smuggling. Watson, too, faced the same fate. Her actions were deemed unacceptable within the realm of justice. The echo of the gavel's resounding thud were a somber reminder of the consequences that awaited them. And so the courtroom emptied, filled with whispers and gasps of disbelief. The tale of Gunn and Watson, 2 officers who strayed from the path of righteousness, would forever be etched into the annals of Mold's history. It was a tale of unwavering dedication and diligence, where the forces of law and order stood tall against the shadowy threats lurking within. Word spread that the prison service of guardians of this formidable correctional facility had undertaken an independent inspection to gauge the strength of their defenses. With bated breath, the prison community awaited the verdict, their hope resting on the findings that could shape the future. The news that resonated through the corridors was nothing short of a triumphant hymn. The inspection had proclaimed that the security arrangements within HMP Berwyn to be nothing short of exceptional. Like a fortress with impenetrable walls, the prison had stood strong against the tides of mischief and deception. But the tireless guardians of HMP Berwyn knew that true security lay not only within bricks and bars, but in the hearts and minds of its keepers. With this understanding, a system of scrutiny was put into place. The jail staff, entrusted with the weighty responsibility of maintaining order, were subject to thorough vetting every 10 years. This measure ensured that only those with integrity and a steadfast commitment to their duty stood at the prison's helm. In their unwavering pursuit of vigilance, the prison service decided to embark on a bold experiment. The winds of change swept through the kingdom, and the service began conducting social media checks for select, higher-risk roles, including the valiant prison officers. This innovative approach sought to uncover any hidden secrets that might betray their loyalty and put the safety of HMP Berwyn at risk. Yet the prison authorities knew that even the most fortified gates could be compromised by a single traitorous hand. Thus, they implemented enhanced gate security, a formidable barrier standing tall against those who would dare smuggle illicit items behind bars. This added layer of protection served as a constant reminder that HMP Berwyn would not falter in the face of those who sought to undermine its righteousness. As the sun set upon its towering walls, casting long shadows in the twilight, the prison stood resolute, unyielding to the ever-present threats that sought to test its resolve.